I'd like to welcome everyone this evening to the January 27th meeting of the Gig Harbor Fire and Medic 1 Board of Commissioners for District 5. If you'd please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before we move to the approval of agenda, we need to take one slight change to the agenda. There is no executive session scheduled, so we can take that off before we approve the agenda. So with that, look for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Urbina,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden,
Yes.
Commissioner Fleming,
Yes.
Chairman Enzi.
Yes. Any commissioner absences coming up that anybody knows? Good. Okay. Communications? None. Approved minutes from the January 13th Commissioners meeting?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Urbina,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden,
Yes.
Commissioner Fleming,
Yes.
Chairman Enzi.
Yes. Accounts payroll and payroll approvals?
I'll move that we approve accounts payable and payroll checks 2981 through 3082 as outlined in the agenda for a grand total of $1,751,870.93. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Urbina,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden,
Yes.
Commissioner Fleming,
Yes.
Chairman Enzi.
Yes. Local 3390, I heard from President Mike, there was no report. Chiefs reports.
All right, commissioners. As we enter 2026, this will mark my 35th year as a firefighter, 18th year as a fire chief, and next month, my 5th year here at Gig Harbor. And I'm just really excited and can't wait to come to work each and every day, even after 35 years. But before we get to this, I want to say how proud I am of the work that this organization has accomplished this year. The progress that you're going to hear about really reflects the dedication of our deputy chiefs, of their teams, of the firefighters, of the staff who show up each and every day that serve our community with professionalism and with pride. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for the trust that you place in me and for the opportunity to serve as the fire chief. Your support and your leadership allow us to focus on doing the work that really matters, and that's keeping firefighters safe and delivering high level of customer service to our community. But before the deputy chiefs walk you through our 2025 work plan closeout, I want to provide some context on how we approach the planning and why this format matters. I really believe strongly in using an annual work plan rather than having a traditional 5-year strategic plan. And a lot of people question that decision, but in my experience, 5-year plans often require a significant investment of time and money and energy and consultants. And we produce a glossy document with well-intended language, and then it ends up sitting on a shelf, and it's rarely even referenced or looked at, and it doesn't drive the day-to-day decisions. So our annual work plan is different. It's built with a one-year horizon, but many of these initiatives that you're going to hear about extend across multiple years. And the difference is that this plan is active and it's dynamic. It's used in our leadership meetings each week. It's referenced regularly. It's adjusted because of conditions change. In the fire service, we have to be nimble. We never know what's going to be thrown our way. And this plan is a snapshot in time. And at the highest level, our 5-year direction or our 5-year plan is very clear, and it's intentional and it's focused. We're going to complete our voter-approved bond projects, including the training facility, Station 51, 58, and 59. As the training facility comes online, we're going to invest in that long-term success through a business plan, quality instructions, partnerships with other agencies, and ongoing improvements, so it remains a high-value asset for our firefighters. We'll receive and train on and place into service 5 new engines this year, 5 new Type 1s, 2 Type 3s, a water tender, and 3 medic units. We'll evaluate and adjust our emergency services and how we deliver that, both emergent and non-emergent. We're going to use data-driven decisions in both emergency response and our financial planning to improve our outcomes. And we're going to lead with technology through connectivity and through our radio communications. And we'll continue to modernize our policies, procedures, and processes to ensure they remain practical and current. So our annual work plans translate this long-term direction that I just laid out to you into actionable and measurable initiatives. So tonight's presentation by each deputy chief reflects on the work that we presented to you 1 year ago that we said that we're going to do, and this is the collective effort behind it. So with that, I want to tell you how proud I am of the team and what a great job they do each and every day. And I'm going to turn it over to Chief Oldenburg first.
Right. Let me get situated here. Good luck. I like that. All right, but stay positive. Let's see here. I think we're getting close. All right, let's see. All right. Good evening, Commissioner. This presentation provides the year-end overview for the work completed by the Finance and Administration Division in the year 2025. The year focused on completing initiatives that were already underway and making sure that the planned work was fully carried through. The intent was to maintain progress without taking on unnecessary new efforts. Throughout the year, the division worked to strengthen systems that support the organization while continuing to support day-to-day operations. Our overall role in the Finance Administration Division is to support the organization by maintaining core administrative, financial, and technology systems. At the same time, the division works to ensure operations continue without interruption. This requires attention to both long-term system needs and day-to-day operational demands. Operational support remains central to the work performed throughout the year. The approach in 2025 focused on planning and coordination. All of our work was sequenced carefully with attention to timing and communication. This helped ensure changes were introduced in a way that staff and operations could absorb. The goal was steady progress while maintaining reliability across the organization. It should be noted that in the finance and administration, in the background of our core business, our business doesn't change a lot. We continue to have to pay the bills, keep the engines running, repair facilities and maintenance. So We have a pretty high operational tempo, just as it is day to day. And for us to continue to expand and do the additional modernization and upgrades takes quite a bit of focus. And then a common theme you'll hear me talk about is sequencing and planning and sequencing to make sure that we continue to advance while at the same time completing all of our day-to-day stuff. Throughout the year, our work continued to update and stabilize core administrative and technology systems. You've heard us talk about that with the Tyler technology. We are upgrading current financial systems, payroll systems, accounting systems, and HR systems. All of those softwares are currently in process of being upgraded across the organization, which was an enormous load and has been for over a year now. All of these efforts focused on improving reliability, overall performance, and our overall system security. Much of this work took place behind the scenes, but it remained critical to our day-to-day operations. These updates absolutely help support our long-term stability and reduce the overall risk to the organization. From the HR side of things, work in 2025 centered on core workforce support activities that included recruiting, promotional processes, leave administration, employee relations, and regulatory compliance. These functions were performed in direct support of the operations division, with a focus on maintaining staffing continuity and consistent employee support across the board. Alongside system upgrades, emphasis remained on supporting employees and maintaining reliable day-to-day services. This included payroll, HR service enhancements, improvements to the injury and return to work processes. We also expanded employee training on systems, softwares, and workflows, as well as ongoing technical and administrative support across the organization. This overall goal was to reduce friction for our employees and supervisors while improvements were being made in the background. When we talk about logistics, facilities, fleet, and logistics, this work focused on facilities, fleet, and logistics coordination necessary to support operational readiness during system upgrades and infrastructure changes. Significant emphasis was placed on planning, sequencing of events, and minimizing operational disruption. Logistics supported multiple station projects, station relocations, facility upgrades, fleet procurement, and supply management initiatives throughout the entire year. A key focus was ensuring that stations, units, and personnel remained operationally ready while station construction and administrative moves were all underway simultaneously. On the communications and technology side, our information systems had a particularly active year as well, supporting district-wide technology modernization. Technology efforts focused on improving system reliability, access to information, and internal coordination through updated tools and platforms. Work included communications upgrades, mobile data computer deployments, station technology installations and relocations, cybersecurity enhancements, and network resiliency improvements. These efforts were aimed at improving our long-term reliability and security while ensuring crews and staff continue to have access to the tools they rely on every day. These enhancements supported both administrative and operational users as part of broad technology modernization across the organization. Collectively in 2025, the work that we completed resulted in a stronger, more resilient administrative logistics and technology system. Coordination across finance, HR, logistics, and information technology improved. Our cybersecurity and infrastructure were strengthened, and significant system and facility changes were implemented without interrupting day-to-day operations. The organization is now better positioned to support current operations and future demands. Looking forward, the focus remains on continuing to strengthen systems and infrastructure while maintaining a strong commitment to operational support. The improvements made in 2025 provide a foundation for future enhancements, allowing the district to adapt to changing service demands, technology needs, and organizational complexity without sacrificing reliability. Future efforts will continue to build on stabilizing our internal system and refining internal processes to support day-to-day operational needs. In closing, 2025 was a year of intentional change and disciplined implementation. All of our systems were modernized and improvements were made with a clear priority on continuity and operational support. The standard moving forward remains the same as it always has been. We want to improve the organization while protecting the mission and the people who deliver it.
Great, thank you, Chief Langlow. While Chief Langlow's bringing his up, finance administration, the whole division from IT to fleet and facilities, definitely had a difficult year, not difficult just because of the amount of the work. And if you think about it, not only are they running the day-to-day business, we added on to it new software for all of them. And a third is they actually run an $80 million business on top of it. Even though Chief Johnson does the bond work behind it, all the finance and administration and the paying and the bills and all that still needs to be done too. So we have a division that's not only running our normal $50 million business, they're adding a software this last year and complete overhaul and change, and they're running another $80 million construction business at the same time. So Chief Langlow.
Thanks, Chief. All right, I'll deliver an operations division update for 2025, kind of wrap up. And I broke it into core operations at the high level, then a little bit of training in EMS that fit under operations. First thing, and I think you'll probably hear it a couple different times over the presentation, but it truly takes a village. This is not done by myself in the office down the hall. It truly does take a village to get this done. And I do want to take a moment just to highlight the folks in leadership that are in the operations division and beyond me. So our 4 battalion chiefs, Paul Stark, Lance O'Leary, Noah Falk, and Tom Voigt. Paul will be retiring actually at the end of this month, but he was in charge of A shift all 2025. Division chiefs Scott Corrigan, Mike Dumas, lieutenants Max Haas and Bob Watherspoon were in the training division, David Hughes and Brian Johnson in the EMS division, and who often goes unnoticed, but certainly publicly because that's how they want it. But our unsung heroes, Patty, Vivian, and Lisa Schroeder, are admin assistants who really, really at the end of the day make these things function and work well and make us look good. 2025, some of our focuses in operations was maintaining, balancing, and supporting. So maintain safe, reliable emergency response across all service areas. As you're aware, that was a challenge for us in 2025 because we were in a state of movement, right? We were opening and closing stations and moving resources, making really educated interpretations of where we should move the resources, but we had to try it a little bit to see how it worked, which requires a lot of work from the logistics division and fleet and IT. And so maintaining, but at the same time, we didn't want to degrade service, right? We want to at least maintain or make it better where we can. Balance daily staffing, deployment, and operational readiness, and then supporting all the divisions across the organization. I was talking with our team just a couple weeks ago. I think I probably took it from somebody. I just don't know who, but I've been calling it the wake effect. And I just, I've been telling our operations staff, it's because we are the biggest group in the organization, right? It's our core function and our core mission. It's a great opportunity for us to have really positive impact on the lives of the community and the people that work here. And at the same time, we need to recognize that any change that we look to make or any pivot has an effect on a lot of people, because it's such a big ship that we that we supervise and that we lead. And so just being cognizant of that, right? It's if I go to DC Peterson and say, hey, we want to change to a different duty boot, well, that's 120 different people that need boots, right? It's not 5 or 6. And so just recognizing that those changes can take time, and we need to make sure that they're calculated and fit into with the mission and the organization. I don't think we changed duty boots last year. That was hypothetical. Operations, staffing, and deployment. Last year, focus, develop a staffing and deployment model to support the temporary closure of Station 51, recognizing that is the fire station that's in the middle of our district. It has been open the longest in our existence. A couple different locations for Station 51, but that's been the primary station. Recognizing that we are all excited to get a new building up in that location, but we do have to close it for a couple years. So developing a strategy on how we wanted to do that. In doing that, it required balancing workload, apparatus placement, response times, and fiscal responsibility. We moved Engine 51, Engine 56, Medic 51, and Battalion 51 to different locations. And one of the great opportunities this did allow us to provide, it wasn't all just an exercise in putting resources where we might not want them. It does allow us and did allow us to evaluate Station 53 and 57 and their performance. And that's not possible if DC Johnson is not working really hard to renovate and remodel those stations and get them ready for us to go. So it all like one thing after another to get us to the finish line. Operations leadership and workforce development. We completed our biannual promotional process for battalion chief, division chief, and lieutenant. We had 12 candidates for the position of lieutenant and 4 candidates for the position of battalion chief, division chief. And we onboarded 9 new line employees, 6 lateral and 3 entry level, in anticipation of attrition for 2025 and then attrition for 2026. Couple other key initiatives for operations in 2025. And then I just wanted to let you guys know on a little bit of information. In 2025, we were dispatched to 7,927 incidents, so just shy of 8,000. We spent a considerable amount of time validating and making adjustments to 80 plus call types and 5,000 sub call types. And so that's how we ultimately decide how we send what resource packages we send to all of our alarms. And that took a tremendous amount of effort between operations and South Sound 911 and the EMS division, and figuring out what is the right package to send to the right place at the right time. And while still continuing to maintain reliability in the rest of the fire department. Validate and update countless procedures and guidelines, and also recognize employees and citizens through graduations, promotions, and extraordinary acts of service. So I think Chief has talked about this. It certainly is one of the things that's important to me that we, I call it catching our employees doing the right thing, right? And we recognize their excellent service that they deliver on a daily basis, I think is really important. So we did that in several different ways in 2025. We validated response plans and emergency service zones using performance data through Intera, which made the job of our deployment plan with 51's closure much easier and also much more data informed. I had the opportunity to chair a countywide implementation of a new U.S. digital dispatching tone package that was sent. So for those of you, Phil, Commissioner Hayden would know, but we historically have sent really loud, obnoxious tones to structure fires and waking our, oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, what? And we changed that, we shifted, we pivoted, and we just decided that we need to get people out the door, but we don't need to get them out the door in sinus tack. So we made that change across the county, and that doesn't happen if we don't have coordination, right? It took all of the operations chiefs across the county to recognize that we needed to make a change and to make a pivot, and we did, and I'm really excited about that. And that speaks to expanded interagency coordination with South Sound 911 and our regional partners. All right, a little bit on EMS. So just to, I won't bore you too much with statistics, but I thought it was important. I just wanted to throw these out here. We did complete just over 4,000 transports in 2025. Which is just over 11 per day. And you can see how we spread it out throughout the medic units, recognizing that medic 58 and 59 were staffed the entire year. Medic 51 and 52 split the year when we closed Station 51 in September. And then medic 56 and the 2 aid cars were both part-time peak units when we had staffing available. So just over 4,000 transports a year. And as you are fully aware, anybody that gets transported by ambulance in Geek Harbor is by Geek Harbor Fire Medic 1. So thought that was worth noting. On the EMS side, successfully onboarded and credentialed 9 new EMS providers. I mentioned earlier, launched a new ongoing training and evaluation program. That's OTEP. So every 5 years, we're required to reauthorize or adjust or change or and get new approval for a new OTEP system. And so Chief Dumas led that initiative last year, and we have a new OTEP system that was adopted by the state of Washington and Pierce County, and that's launched and has started on 1/1 of 2026. We welcomed a new EMS physician advisor, Dr. Constance, and we also implemented a new cardiac care training content provider in the American Red Cross. Focus on coordination with our hospitals and fire service partners, and emphasis always on clinical quality, documentation, and continuous improvement. We spent a lot of time with Tacoma Fire this year, and that was for several different reasons. One of them in the EMS division was we sent Lieutenant Brian Johnson over for 2 EMT classes during 2025 to be a shadow instructor and then the lead instructor the second time. And what that does is that gives Brian the opportunity to be able to deliver our own in-house EMT class and be the lead instructor for that. And so without going through that process as a shadow and then as essentially having a instructor like shadow you can't do that on your own. So Brian's able to do that, which is awesome. So when we choose to bring that in-house, we have a senior evaluator that can do that here. New EMS supply system. So this needed to happen anyway. And then with the movement of or closure of Station 51, it gave us a great opportunity. And so traditionally, we, for the most part, our medic units and transport units and fire engines would come to Station 51 to get restocked when they didn't have, when they couldn't get it done at their own individual stations. We just kept a really small stock. And then with the closing of 51, we had to come up with a different plan. And so Lieutenant Hughes spent a considerable amount of time working with logistics and the rest of the EMS division in creating EMS supply caches at every staff station so they can just return from the hospital back to their station, stock up their units, and then if something is needed to be restocked in their cabinets, then we have a process to reach out and EMS will stock that when they can. So increased reliability, internal customer service, they can get back to their station in the middle of the night without having to go to 51. Relicensed our EMS vehicles, which is required every 2 years, and then partnered with Wildland, which I'll talk about in a minute, to launch a new line paramedic program that was largely led by DC Dumas on the EMS side. And then this is just a picture I wanted to throw out there. We did push in a new medic unit, which is always pretty cool. So thanks to logistics and EMS to making that happen. And so you got in the bottom, I know it's small, I'll send this PowerPoint out, but in the bottom right, you have Lieutenant Hughes, Shot Brad, as I call him, and Colin and Chief Dumas, who were integral in making that unit get ready and go into service. And without any hiccups, right, Steve? Too soon. Too soon. Yeah. Still in service. Training division. We're on the home stretch. So takes a village again, right? These are a bunch of our operations staff and then our core training division folks did an acquired structure burn that we had up by Peninsula High School in the fall. So the training division, developing a fixed facility and acquired structure live fire cadre, so we can burn down in our tower at our fixed facility, and then we can also continue to burn in acquired structures when they present the opportunity to do so. Host our lieutenant, and battalion chief academy. That's every other year with the promotional process. Host outside classes, leadership credentialing, general education. We had a great year, first half of the year, spending time at the Kitsap County Fire Training Consortium doing live fire, because that helps us get ready to burn in our own tower. So they have a system that's up and running. They have a process and a program. And so DC Corrigan, our training division, and then several of our engine companies got to go up there and kind of see the operational cadence and pace of how we do live fire burning with propane. So that was a great opportunity that we had to do that. And then I talked about the live fire training with the Peninsula School District. Hosted 2 academies, 1 entry level and 1 2 operations academy, 1 entry level after they came back from Tacoma, and then 1 lateral when we brought on the laterals this last fall. Development of the training support building and training tower. Hosted several IFSAC courses, including Instructor 1 and our IFSAC driver operators. Training partnerships. This is a big deal to DC Corrigan. He wanted me to make sure that we communicate that to the board, that this is a kind of a passion project for Scott, is to make sure that we have really, really good relationships with our regional partners, because we can't do it on our own. We got to do it together. So Tacoma Fire, Kitsap County, I talked about local law enforcement, Fire Service Research Institute. DC Booth is going to talk a little bit about that later in his presentation. And then our Wildland Technical Rescue and Training Cadre. Real brief on the wildland side, wanted to update. We did go on 17 wildland mobilizations crossing 4 states, Washington, Montana, Oregon, and California. We did send folks out as a liaison officer, who happens to be sitting down here, strike team leader, heavy equipment boss, line paramedic, and medical unit leader. I want to stop and pause just a minute on the line paramedic. That's a brand new program for us where we sent medics out to be on the fire line, and their primary mission is to be there when someone on the fire gets hurt or injured. And we have never done that before. And it took a concerted effort from Lieutenant Bacinas and firefighter paramedic Dana Parolo to get that program off the ground with Chief Dumas. We had a lot of time spent with Pierce County EMS, and it was really, really great, like worthwhile time spent with Norma and Dr. Waffle at Pierce County EMS to help us get that program off the ground. And so we're now in year 2 of that program. We're really excited to see where it goes and how we can expand it. And then we did our, as far as apparatus goes, we deployed our Type 6 brush truck several times, and then single resource vehicles like DC Johnson in his pickup truck. Technical rescue team, we're almost to the end here. I just wanted to highlight one of the 2025 work planned items was to complete our technical rescue team evaluation, which we did about halfway through the year. Lieutenant Hoshin and Lieutenant Hunter led that charge. We completed a comprehensive operational evaluation of technical rescue. We developed a new 3-year training cycle framework for our technical rescue job performance requirements. And we've established plans for a 2026 eligibility testing process because our team, our folks are generally tenured senior employees in the organization, and we've had a couple retire, promote, and move along. So we need to get that team built back up. And we'll be using Vector Solutions for that 3-year credentialing, and we're really excited about where TRT goes in the future. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Awesome. Great job, Nick. And it was Nick's first year. It was a big year. And one of the things that Chief Meyer had started it was, a lot of work on our run cards and just reevaluating what we send, how we send it, how many units we send, reevaluating our tech team. How many tech specialists should we have? What disciplines should we have? And it's just a continuing reevaluating of all the services that we provide, what we should provide, what we can provide, what we have enough people to provide. And we'll continue to always evaluate it, but it's been a lot of evaluation last year or two. Chief Booth.
Good evening. Mine will be much shorter. I'm going to go over some of our key accomplishments in health, safety, emergency preparedness, and fire prevention for 2025. So in the area of community risk reduction, we made significant progress in one area, and we're still working on the other. So in the area of Wildfire Ready, formerly known as FireWise, we are in year 2 in a partnership with DNR and the Pierce Conservation District. We've got really good support and representation across the district from homeowners, homeowner associations, and we've basically gone through all the grant money that we had received, and we're looking forward and looking at opportunities to continue to expand that program to make our community more resistant, more resilient in the face of wildfire. In the area of fall prevention and what we're also kind of generally calling elder care, we are continuing to evaluate options and look for partnerships both within the organization as well as community stakeholders to stand up a program to better support our elderly population. I'm sure you're aware, you remember from some of the previous talks I've done, we have twice the census of 65 plus in our district as the rest of the county. And so it's just a group that needs our attention, and falls are about a quarter of our total run volume. And so we're going to do our very best this coming year to really make something happen in that area. We had nearly a complete staff turnover. We started by hiring CJ Martin to replace Tina Curran as a public educator. Jake Coverdale, the prior fire inspector, requested to return to operations and has done so at the first of the year. And so we onboarded and got Jake Hushcroft. So we took one Jake and replaced him with another Jake. Jake Hushcroft up, and he's currently certified. He passed his test on the first run and is performing inspections to carry out that contract we have with the city of Gig Harbor. We hired an administrative assistant, Karen Simmons. If you haven't met her yet, she's awesome. She is here, and she's just flying through some of the work that had piled up. And so we're really excited about having Karen on the team. And then lastly, we, while the appointment doesn't happen until May, we identified Patrick Phillips to replace Chief Westcott when, assuming you approve, when he replaces me when I retire at the end of May. And so that's darn near everybody. Abe Edmondson will be the only person standing at the tail end of the first half of this year that you will have recognized from the beginning of 2025. And with that, that just takes a lot of time and effort. We hired some fantastic people that are really exceeding expectations, and so I'm really excited to see where the division goes in the future. In the area of community emergency preparedness, you'll remember that I worked on updating our hazard mitigation plan. That was slightly delayed. The significant weather and flooding that occurred over the holiday season delayed the submittal of our document. And it went in, I think it was last week, to state DEM. Once state DEM approves it, it goes to FEMA. They're anticipating probably early Q2 that we have an approved and updated hazard mitigation plan. And so just getting that buttoned up. Emergency supplies is one of those things that never goes away. There's just a little bit of money in each and every budget year. And so this year, in consultation with Chief Peterson, we decided to purchase some like crush-resistant cabinets for emergency supplies at the stations that aren't getting updated through the bond. The supplies are great, but they're no good if they're buried underneath the building and you can't really get to them. So we tried to think a little outside the box, and that's how we chose to address that. In the area of unified command, primarily at the hands of Chief Langlow, we continue to partner with city and county stakeholders and exercise the system primarily through planned events. And we just continue ongoing communication and awareness and spending time with our stakeholders. I saved the best for last, haha. SOGs, we are doing a complete overhaul of the accident prevention program. It's required by the WAC. We are probably weeks away from getting that posted. I think it's 180 pages, if I'm not mistaken. Complete overhaul of our safety policies. We are right there. And then there were a couple things that weren't on my work plan, but I thought that they were worthy of mention here to talk about other things that we accomplished in 2025. To Nick's point, through UL and FRSI partnership, we brought the Explorer Labs program to Goodman Middle School. The 8th grade science class was the first group to embrace that curriculum. It sounds like the classes were fantastic. Several of our firefighters in prevention spent the day in the classroom with CJ delivering that content on fire investigation. Really good engagement from the kids. And the plan, just kind of a spoiler, the plan is that in 2026, we expand that to all the middle schools. But so far, so good there. Through the LNI Fire Program, we did get grant funding to purchase those Binder lifts. If you remember, they're a tool to lift non-injured ground level fall patients in a more ergonomic way so we can reduce injuries to ourselves and arguably reduce injuries to the patient. We added 3 new peer fitness team members. So now that team has risen to a total strength of 7, making them more effective and hopefully better able to serve our members. And then I saved this one specifically for last. You'll remember that we implemented the Galleri cancer blood test. This is Cancer Awareness Month, and Tom and I are doing trainings on all the shifts late last week and then this week. And the reason why I wanted to take just a hair more time on this one is as I was preparing for that training, I did reach out to a member to ask for permission to share the story. And you won't know this yet, but we did have a positive test in year one. And that individual has requested to remain anonymous still, although I anticipate in the coming weeks they're going to share their story personally. But we caught an early stage non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in an asymptomatic firefighter. Never missed a day of work, continues to work full-time on the line. We caught it so early that there is no treatment at this point. It's just be aware that it exists and watch it, and then be prepared to do something if it should advance. And so that is the best possible outcome we could have expected with the GRAIL cancer test. I'm really excited about our experience in year one. And part of the reason that I wanted to share that in the training was to continue to encourage people that this year, I'm hoping that every single person that's eligible steps up and does the test, because the goal is to catch the stage 1, stage 2 asymptomatic individual, as opposed to what we've heard. We've all heard stories about catching it late and they don't last very long. So that concludes the report on health, safety, emergency preparedness, and fire prevention. And I welcome any comments or questions.
Thank you, Scott. And we'll get to celebrate Scott in the next few months, but his passion, firefighter safety, both health, physical and mental, just really shows what he's brought to our department. The Wildfire Ready program that Chief Westcott and him brought, I think we were the largest user in the state of Washington of the Wildfire Ready program. And the commissioner came here to launch that. So some big things within that division, and then really revamping our entire emergency management process. When we got here, how this county or this community was relying on us as the actual emergency managers, when that's the county's job. We've been able to reset that. We're still going to lead at the incident command post, but we've made some significant changes there that Chief Booth has led through. So thank you. Chief Johnson, you update almost every single week. Do you have a kind of an end of the year? I hope you do, because I think it's important to celebrate everything that we did.
I do. So apologies. I was supposed to be on vacation. That ended and got canceled the night before I was leaving. So I'm here. And in that time period, since last week, this afternoon was the first time I've sat at my desk upstairs in about 5 work days. So I've been running and out and about, working on some stuff. Take just a moment to recognize everything you've heard earlier before me. Some great PowerPoints with some info. But as Chief Doan said earlier, it's a team. For the most part, I'm a team of one. I have a consultant and some RFM folks that help me out. But I pick and choose, and I talk to every one of these folks. I use all of their administrative assistants at certain times to help me with certain things, and I'm supported very well by all of them. So it's working, and it's working well. There's my 2 cents worth. I do update quite often, but we'll look at the 25 work plan accomplishments. As we've talked about, 53 and 57, the goal was to get those completed and closed out. We accomplished that goal. It maybe took a little bit longer than we wanted it to, but we accomplished that before the end of the year. The training campus was a big project throughout the year. The entirety of the year with P's construction. As of the end of 25, the support building was finished. And as of last Friday, we got occupancy on the first floor of the training support building. And just to note, we would have gotten the whole building, but the elevator had a defective part. Elevator parts are very scarce, and they come from very specific sources. And the elevator is not working except for that one part, hence occupancy only on the first floor. As soon as the part comes and LNI is able to test the elevator, we're good to go. The building was cleaned again yesterday and into last night. We've given the go-ahead for training to move in. the training support building is done. So at the end of 25, I took a look at the training tower. We have completed the first 3 floors. The 4th floor deck is on and ready to be poured. Not ready to be poured, in the process of being prepared. A semi-load of rebar showed up with a crane today and loaded the whole deck, and they will be tying rebar for the next week. And then coming right behind them is some electrical and plumbing, and then rebar again on top of that, and then they'll pour. So our 4th floor will be showing up soon. Once again, with all of that stuff happening down there, I invite anybody and everybody, call me. With the training that's going on today, I was able to coming back and forth. I took 3 crews down to just walk them through. The tower looks very different from the other side. I will just say that, from the parking lot behind 58 and you come back to the back side, it's a very different view. So the offer is always open. Please call me. Along with the other work on the training campus, we restructured and redid all retention ponds and added retention ponds. I worked through multiple change orders to make the product better for the end user, which is actually us. And then attended weekly architect, contractor owner meetings throughout the week. So training campus has taken a lot of my time. It's starting to edge out, get pushed down a little bit on the priority as 51 has popped up. I'll get to 51 in a moment, but one of the other projects was Station 50 from the repair for the flood. So the goal was to get that completed and closed out in 25. We did. We moved in, all new heating, ventilation, air conditioning in the building. We did some repair work as well as some small remodel work. The offices upstairs were refreshed and new office furniture is installed. Downstairs was refreshed, new office furniture installed. We worked through a few minor warranty issues. But the big thing is to get staff that Perry lost sleep on, was getting staff moved out of temporary headquarters in here before we lost our lease. And we made that happen. So that was a definite goal that we had at the end of the line there, and we made it. Station 51 throughout the year was finalizing design and getting it through the city of Gig Harbor, which was quite an effort. We got it through, plans approved. The project went out to bid in August. We opened the bids at the end of September. We worked through a 3-month long court process. And as it turns out, we awarded to the number 2, which is Pease Construction. So a lot of the work this week and some of it last week was yesterday, everything came to a head, and there was a whole parking lot full of work trucks, excavators, front end loaders, and fire engines, and a truck from Tacoma doing some training. But fencing went up, gate accesses went in, the job trailer got delivered. Penlight was there with multiple crews and pulled all the power, so the power is gone. We've secured the gas, and I'm just waiting to secure water. In that, we got our meeting scheduled with the city of Gig Harbor for Thursday, just as a pre-construction meeting. And the demo contractor wants to start as soon as possible. In saying that, it was scheduled for next Tuesday, but if he is ready to go, he may start on Friday. And it's a day-to-day thing, and it's just working with the training division to say, hey, and they know it, can't do this, can't do this. Okay, you have an hour and a half to do this. We've been using the building for a lot of training, and as people have come through, they're like, wow, you guys are getting every ounce of use out of this building before it gets pushed down. So it's a great use of the facility. I'm glad we got to use it, and it's moving forward now that it's been on the brakes for a little while. Everything is on fast forward at this point because everybody is ready to get it moving, including me. So I will say it will not be a sad day when the building goes to the ground. I have lived through remodels and everything else in that building, and I'm looking forward to the new, better product for all of our folks. That would conclude my year-end report. Are there any questions? I'm sorry I didn't have a big fancy PowerPoint. I did sit down this afternoon and I have pictures, but then more phone calls and more emails that I had to go back to 51 and work on. So yeah, actually, if you look out the windows, commissioners, you might be able to see the light that's on the sign that's on the building. It's pretty spectacular at night, is what I'm told. I haven't seen it at night because I always forget as I'm driving out.
So that concludes our year. I think it was a pretty big year, but we got a bigger one coming up. So in 2 weeks, each chief will give you a draft plan of our work plan for the next year to 2 years. And so be thinking about that. If there's anything you want us to work on or do, you can tell me now, or you can let us know in 2 weeks. So we're going to bring you a draft work plan of what we propose to you. And then we'll ask you to approve that plan at the next meeting. Also, at the next meeting, you've been given my self-evaluation, and then as a board, you will give me my evaluation. So that's our plan for 2 weeks from now. So thank you.
Thank you. We'll try that again. Anything understanding committee reports? Okay, thank you. Chairman's report. As the chief just mentioned, each of you have a packet. It is his self appraisal. What I would ask is that before our meeting on February 10th, that you all go through it and look at what he has put down for himself on his self appraisal. And then we will have on the 10th, there will be a executive session in which we will discuss personnel in regards to that. Also, after listening to each of our deputy chiefs today, and I can't say how proud I am of this department. I've been associated with it in one way or another since 1984 when they pulled me out of a ditch, actually out of a pond after only being here for a week with the police department and getting involved in an accident, and they had to go down off of Lombard in that pond down there and pull me off out of the ditch down there and transfer me to the hospital. So that was back when there was probably 5 regular firefighters and all the rest of you, including Bob Black and John and a whole bunch of you, were just volunteers. And so that was my first start. It was always kind of a joke because the guys laughed. The only thing I was saying was, do I still have a job and was it my fault? And which I did, and I wasn't at fault. So anyway, so that was my first contact in February of '84 with the Fire District 5. And it's been an experience being involved as a police officer, working with the fire district, and then these past 25 years as a commissioner, and listening to the 4 chiefs. Chief Doan, I have to compliment you on how you put your team together and the people that you have chosen to work for you as your deputy chiefs. They are outstanding. And then each of the personnel under them are outstanding, which means our whole department is just an outstanding department. But that reflects back on the leadership that's provided to them at all levels. So, Chiefs, thank you very much for your reports, all the work that you have done. I know that you'll continue to do this. Chief Doan, thank you for your leadership. And I know that you will continue working to maintain that leadership that we have. So thank you very much. JJ, do you have anything for the bond update, or did you just give it?
I think I gave all of it. training camp is moving along as expected. We're moving into the support building. The tower is moving along, and that's the focus down there now. Things will move quickly at this point. Floor 4 is a little bit smaller, and floor 5 is even smaller. They're currently cleaning, the masons are cleaning the lower 3 floors. We anticipate bringing Fireblast, our burn prop manufacturer, in potentially up to a month earlier than we thought, because they can, once the bottom 3 floors are clean, that's where the props are going, they can start their process. So we're working on that. And then we're kind of just waiting for good weather, more so towards the spring, to finish the paving and that. Through the bad weather, the ponds have held. I don't know, I cannot remember a period where we had more rain over that period, short of a time, and the ponds held and took all the runoff from the impervious surfaces that we put in, so we're good there. Station 51 is getting ready to kick off. It'll be busy, but I think it's good busy. Pease is a great contractor, and we're getting a lot of the same folks as their general carpenters and stuff are finishing here. They're coming to 51 because we have, 20 days of demo. So there's no need for them during that period. So we'll see a crossover, and we have, in essence, the same we do have the same electrical contractor, the same plumber. It's a different mechanical contractor, but I don't anticipate, I'm choosing my words. I don't anticipate any slowdowns from us, but I may have to do some more political work, and Chief Doan may have to be with me if we get slowed down by the city. So it took us 5 days to get a pre-construction meeting, and that was just some paperwork issues back and forth that weren't really, in my opinion, shouldn't have taken that long, but it happened, and we have a meeting, and we're still on schedule. I mean, honestly, demolition was scheduled to start next Tuesday. If we start Friday or Monday, we are still ahead of the game and ahead of the schedule. So I am looking forward to it and finishing that project as well. And once again, if you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you.
You keep looking at me, Chief, when you say that.
I see there is no old business. New business, personnel services contract for Tom Westcott.
Chiefs, commissioners, before you is a personal services contract for Tom Westcott. As you said, we have a great team, but we're also excited for the future, for Chief Westcott to join our team. We'll be sad that Chief Booth leaves, but change is inevitable. And we're just blessed to have Chief Westcott come here from Anchorage, and we were glad that he's joined our team and did such a good job. We're really excited for him to be part of the command staff in the future. So the personal services contract is before you. Like I said, we have a few months, but our reasoning is to get this done so that we can do the division chief and on down to all the other promotions, and start the transition with Chief Booth. The contract before you is similar to all the other contracts. There's nothing unusual about it, but I'll stand for any questions and just ask for your approval.
So it sounds like there is a plan to have some overlap between Tom and Scott where.
Yeah, they're already starting. Both of them came to command staff this week as we started putting together the 2026 plan. So they're already doing transitioning. And then we also have some transitioning for Patrick Phillips coming up too. So all within our department, we've already started. So we got plenty of months to do that. And like I said, Chief Westcott came to our last command staff meeting.
What's just out of curiosity, what's the technical promotion date for now Lieutenant Phillips, soon to be
Yeah.
Chief Phillips?
What's the official date for you and then Westcott and then Phillips? Do you remember the exact days?
Yeah, I believe Patrick's first day will be on or around May 1st.
Okay.
and then he'll shadow Tom for a full 30 days. And then Tom will replace me on my last day.
Okay.
But like Chief said, we were in Scottsdale 2 weeks ago together at the Fire Department Safety Officers Association conference. We are filling his brain as fast as possible. And so, yeah, there's lots of onboarding happening, which
My transition was not in Scottsdale, Arizona, by the way, for the record.
I guess you should have come to health and safety.
And the only reason why I ask is because then technically the contract for Chief Westcott would take effect June? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, his official first day is June 1st when he takes that role.
Then I would make a motion that we approve the personal services contract for Chief Westcott when he, date TBD, I guess, but effective June 1st at the latest.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second to accept the service contract for Tom Westcott, starting effective June 1st of 2026. Do I hear any discussion? Hearing no discussion, ask for a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Ervina,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden,
Yes.
Commissioner Fleming,
Yes.
Chairman Enzi.
Yes. All right, Tom. All right, congratulations. Okay, at this part of the meeting, we come to the open public comment. If you have anything to address to the board, please state your name for the record. If you're online, please raise your hand so we can recognize you. You'll have 3 minutes for any statement.
There are none.
None? Yeah. Good of the order. Special interest upcoming events? All right. Having no other business come before this board, we are adjourned.